Yoganand sir. Yoganand sir.
Sir, start பண்ணலாமா?
கரெக்டாக 10 o'clock ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணல சார் இங்கே.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே
சார் வந்துட்டாரா?
VP sirla?
VP sir.
I have joined.
Okay.
Yes,
okay sir. Good morning sir.
Good morning.
Good morning sir.
Thank you Aravindan and team. And Chandramohan also wonderfully doing. It's going on well.
Okay. Thank you sir. Thank you sir.
Okay.
Yoganand sir.
Yes sir.
You can start sir.
Yes sir. So good morning dear participants, and today we'll have a great session. Okay. And I would request our VP Academics to start the function.
Thank you, Yoganand. Indeed, I am very happy that a good number of participants showing much interest in attending, taking active participation in this program. Today, we are on the third day. Of course, we have, as usual, an excellent speakers for today's session. One Professor Yoganand, the other one our final year student, Mr. Balaji. And the first session will be a kind of design thinking, very basic concept, which the past 2 days, many other speakers would have thought about for various applications. Of course, it will be taught by Mr. Yoganand with a case study on this one, followed by a drone manufacturing, where how the design thinking concept is applied while developing drones. And I strongly believe this today's session will be, as usual, very much interesting. I wish that the participants need to put on more questions to the speaker so that it shall be more of interactive. So whatever doubt any individual will have, definitely others also might be having, let it get clarified so that they start thinking on it, give feel over their thoughts and further develop on this. And definitely this design thinking is already started to be a talk of giant companies. Of course, you also can get amalgamated in future if you are provided a chance, shows interest in this one. With this, just handing over the session to the speakers of today's session. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. And now I would request
Sir, background noise வருது. Background noise வருது, sir.
Just
So,
yes, sir. Now it is okay.
Yeah, fine.
So now I will request Mr. Vetrivedan.
sir, excuse me, sir. Is it whether the noise is from mine? Yavan, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there any noise is coming?
Yes, sir.
No. Am I audible clearly?
No. But we have feedback noise.
Just a minute. I will join through mobile.
Yes, sir. Sir, Vetrivedan, sir.
Vetri, sir, you can unmute now.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm
Continue,
audible
sir.
now
Continue,
clearly?
sir. Yes, sir. Sure, clear.
Yeah, okay. Good morning to one and all present over here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for this August gathering. I feel very excited to share my knowledge on the topic design thinking. Actually, if you take the concept design thinking, which is much predominant in launching an effective product or process. Actually, it is not evolved in an industrial environment. When eminent professor John E. Arnold of Stanford University strived at teaching his students to approach the problems creatively, the term creative engineering is established. From that, step by step, with many trial and error method, with his hard work, Professor John E. Arnold evolved all the basic principles of design thinking, which gives us a problem solving methodology, which is an user centric based. It gives us a pool of diverse variety of perspectives and ideas to solve a problem or to launch a product which satisfies the real need of the customer who is going to utilize the product. Actually, what we mean the name design thinking is, if we evolve a design, if we develop a design by standing on the shoes of the customer, by knowing the actual need of the customer, if we develop a problem solving method, and by that if we develop a design, that is referred as design thinking. Over here, instead of having initial level of, not stopping at initial level of understanding a problem, we have to understand the actual need of the customer or the user. We have to develop as many possible assumptions, as many possible challenges which is required to meet their need, and based on that we have to redefine the problems to identify alternative strategies and the solution. That is referred as design thinking. So in a single word, if you want to define design thinking, it is nothing but a user-centric problem-solving methodology. Yes. Whereas if you take design thinking, it is a holistic problem-solving methodology which will provide business to the organization. Business, it means a economically effective product which enables the organization to capture the market, to compete the market. Such kind of solution will be provided by design thinking process. It makes the technology to build the solution, and a very essential need, it will make the customer to utilize the solution which we have developed. Anyhow, that influences a lot over capturing the market, right? Whatever the idea may be good, the idea may be excellent, but the end user must utilize the solution which we have provided for a problem. That is the very requirement, very immediate requirement in the market, in this competitive market. So whereas if you take this holistic problem solving methodology, it provides technically feasible, economically viable solution, and the solution which is desirable for the user. Yes, the next. Sir, next slide. Whereas if you take a design thinking process, as I said, as I mentioned already, basic phases, different phases has been developed by John E. Arnold. Whereas the different phases of design thinking were listed over here. One of the phases of design thinking is empathize. We have to understand the real need of the users. We have to stand on the shoes of the user. We cannot force a idea, we cannot force a solution into the customer. We must understand actually what they want. Accordingly, we have to develop the solution. Then we have to define perfectly, we have to define the user needs, their problem, and then our insight. We have to do all these things in a creative way. That means we have to ideate what are all the challenging assumptions, what are all the possible perspectives from the customer point of view, from the market point of view. Accordingly, we have to provide innovative solutions for the problem. After innovating a solution, then we have to go for the prototype. We have to create the solution. We have to create the model. We have to develop the component, and then we have to test it for utilization to what extent our idea works out effectively. By doing all these things, we can come up with an effective product which dominates the market. So over here, if you ask me whether design thinking is a hierarchical process, why? Because why this term hierarchical process we are telling means, if you take all the conventional design process, those were hierarchical. It will follow what are all the steps provided. It will not eliminate the in-between steps, just like a algorithm. It will keep on going step by step to launch a product. Whereas if you take design thinking, it breaks all those conventional hierarchical methodologies. So among all these phases, according to the requirement, we can follow, we can adopt any one of these phases or more of all these phases in any order. It is not necessary to proceed 1, 2, 3, and 4. There is no any order in these phases. Based on the requirement, we can adopt any sequence to establish the product. So over here, if you take a design thinking, rather than following a hierarchical structure, it concentrates only on launching innovative solution. So whereas if we strive to provide an innovative solution, our basic pattern of thinking, it lies as a barrier to provide innovative solution. Why? Because if you take a human being, we will be having a pattern of thinking modeled based on repetitive activities and commonly accessed knowledge. Based on that, we will decide if you say one, we will have in our mind, if we draw a vertical line, it means one. So like that, our intuitive thinking, it will enable us to make quick decision without giving room for new thinking. If a vertical line is drawn, immediately we will say it as a one. Why it can't be L? All those thinking won't come over. If we have a schema, that means if we have a pattern of thinking, we have to break that. We have to break the schema of thinking if we want to implement, if we want to adopt design thinking. That is much essential over here. Why? Because if we keep on accessing the set of informations and the relationship between the things, thoughts, and actions, based on that, if we keep on working, as I said, if I draw a circle, as I'm telling, if I mean the word circle, simply what you will put, just you will put your O, and you will say that it's a circle. So over here, it makes us to decide much quickly instead of analyzing the problem, having deep insight. Instead of having deep insight over the problem, this ingrained pattern of thinking will make us to take the decisions much quickly. Whereas if you take the polar forks, actually it will look like what was the structure we imagine for a dog. That means it will have a foreleg, it will have foreleg, fur, sharp teeth, tail, paws, and similar and the characteristics which expresses it as a dog. So if all these informations, if we accumulate all this information, what kind of name we will give it to an animal is a dog. Whereas if you take the polar fox, which looks similar to the dog, whereas their actual characteristics varies more than the dog. It differs much from the dog. If we approach that polar fox by having the thought in your mind that it is a dog, then what will happen, you know, isn't it? So that is the problem in having a schema of thinking. We have to come out of that. We have to come out of that. If we want to adopt the concept of design thinking, or if you want to provide innovative solution for any kind of engineering problems. So that was expected in design thinking. So I have given a brief introduction about what is meant by design thinking. So how we can implement design thinking and how the companies have adopted design thinking to launch their product successfully will be explained with examples by Mr. K. Yoganand. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the presentation. See, as sir mentioned, there are several kind of say understanding the users. See, for example, right now everyone is has got access to Android mobiles. Okay. In earlier cases, those Android mobiles will not come with say mm, a platform called user interface, or you can write your own problem to an Android mobile stating that I have this kind of heating issues. Suddenly there would be a forum which is discussing the same issue, and the same has been reflected to the company, and all of a sudden you will see there will be an update. Either it may be a security update, or it may be some kind of patch update. So all these updates are happening to your mobile phones, where the mobiles which are getting sold into the market, these are after sales services provided by the mobile industries, where they wanted to know what their customers are actually feeling about their product. And then you will see there will be immediately all the issues, whatever you have issues like heating issues. Perfect example is MI. You can see every month MI used to display, or they used to have a huge gathering where they are launching new products every say 2-3 months in frequencies. So why, how these kind of so many competitive models are coming into the market is the users, and knowingly or unknowingly we are sending them the messages. There would be some immediately, there would be some message from an industry stating that say you want to send optional data. Without knowing what you are sending as optional data, we will give them as yes. But actually what is happening, it is diagnosing your mobile, and it is diagnosing whatever issues you have. And even there is one option in your mobile phone which is called developer options. You can be a developer for your own mobiles. Okay, so these kind of accessibilities are coming out into the market because of this concept of design thinking. Okay, I want to know what my users are really facing upon using my product. And that is where Apple is still a successful company in this market, where they listen to each and every problem faced by the Apple users. Whether you use a very old product of Apple, or whether you use a new product of Apple, whatever the product it may be, the end users can give their feedbacks, and all those will be reflected in their upcoming models, or you will get an immediate solution to that. This is what the concept of design thinking has given, has opened doors to the market of industry giants. And why they are praising this concept so much is because they are getting more and more connect with their users, and the market what they gain are sustained for a longer period. Okay, so today beyond this we will have a small sessions like a brainstorming session on what is design thinking and how we have to think something for the customers. Okay, so generally to speak, design thinking is always referred to as out of the box thinking. Okay, out of the box thinking is find out some alternative solution to the conventional problem. Okay, so this is the general process, and most of the students might have seen what this video is about. If you have a look at this, I'm sorry. So what he is trying to do is going to take the conventional method of taking out a child without knowing what the user is undergoing. Okay. So without understanding what is his problem, we are providing some solutions. Okay. This is the conventional thinking. This is the drawback of the conventional thinking. And all of a sudden, you will feel that okay, now you can see all of the sudden the user he know what he wants it. Okay, so only thing is when you stand in his shoes of the user, you will understand his problems and then you will provide a solution which is the best solution what you can provide. Okay, so these are all some industrial giants, okay, who are adopting this process and they are success in the market, and we'll see how they are success into the market. Okay, so on the right side of my screen, okay, what image is that? Can someone tell me the image? Hello, I think this image doesn't require any introduction. It is your Samsung Galaxy Note series. Okay, so how Samsung, which was once the most hated company when Nokia was dominating the mobile markets, the most hated company would be Samsung, because there is no perfect interface and there is no user-friendly options. But right now you can see they are the industry leaders. Okay, after Apple, if you see, Samsung would be the global leader in mobile sales. Okay, how the Samsung Note series has become a successful product among the market using this design thinking process. We will see a brief history. Okay, so one thing is the concept when the first Samsung Galaxy Note series was introduced, they started getting feedbacks directly from the users. Okay, what they did is they sent out their representatives directly to the users. Okay, collecting feedbacks, and they found out that there was no 5.5-inch smartphones. And also it is not acting as a smart diary. Okay, so what they started is immediately there was a small design team, okay, where they were put on to the task, right? Like say if you are on the move and you want to note something, so how you will note? Earlier case we used to have paper and pen, you have to write something. Now everything wants to be in the digital format, so they started thinking about this S Pen. Okay, most of you might know S Pen introduced by Samsung. Okay, then what was the problems they encountered is there was no such device in the market. Okay, so later on what they did is they introduced a smart cover. Right now that smart cover has been replaced, but when the Samsung Galaxy Note was introduced, there was a smart cover which on closing you can see the display on the smart cover also. So if you want to write something, you can write, it will be directly stored to the mobile memory. Okay, so whether this product worked? Yes, obviously this opened a new gateway for Samsung, and that is where Samsung is right now into the market as an giant. What was the strategy they employed is they employed the advanced design thinking process and they visualized what could be their future. So with this only they are success in the market. Okay, now the next one is, have any one of you understood or come across this term Project Loom by Google? Is there anyone who knows Project Loom by Google? Hello, guys. This can be an interactive session. We don't want to restrict you to without speaking. Okay, you can unmute yourself and you can speak. Hello,
Sir,
hello. Ah, yes.
sir, I know that, sir.
Yeah, what is the project Loom? You can explain it to the
Remote access
students.
for internet, sir. They actually tie the internet accessories to a balloon with a certain limit of height, sir, where
Yes.
remote areas can get access to internet.
Yes, this was the correct answer. To provide internet access to every nook and corner of the remote locations. See, conventionally, if I give this problem, if any industries have the same problem, like an internet service provider, what they do immediately is they will try to increase the number of fibers. Say now we have fiber optic connections, so we'll try to increase the number of fibers. Okay, but this is something out of the box thinking, right? Having air balloons which are been taken to say the atmospheric level, and from there giving out internet connections to all the locations is something out of the box thinking, and that is where Google is still a giant in the industry. Okay, so how do you want to think like a Googler? Okay, see, the process what they undergo is same. Okay, the process what they undergo is same. You are knowing the user, but the second process what they adopt is totally different, which is the second process what they adopt is totally different, which is thinking 10 times. Okay, we are not incrementing it by 10%, rather than I am thinking 10 times of the original idea. Okay, so that is where these kind of ideas like remote balloon operated balloon powered internet for everyone, this is something 10 times out of the box thinking, and understanding the users and giving them the right solution with the right thing. That is why they are still in the market. Okay, and right after this thinking, they are not stopping with much of talking. Okay, they start immediately prototyping the concept. This is Google's biggest advantage. If you can even you can Google it on internet, find out how Google works. Okay, there would be a creative team, and once the creative team come out with a solution, they will immediately go for prototyping. All facilities are available within their Google Center. Okay, they you have to immediately prototype, and if it is success, they will immediately launch it into the market. Okay, so this is the success stories of internet, success stories of all industrial giants who has adopted design thinking as their prime process. Okay, so now let us come to an important thing, which is case study. Okay, so I want everyone to give solutions for this. Okay, let us say I wanted to have a fetal monitoring system. Why I needed it? See, this is by UN, what is that, World Health Organization. There are so many babies which are getting which are not being delivered properly, or there are say babies which are getting aborted within 3 months or 4 months of their pregnancy period. So this is very alarming among even in India. Every second there is 6 babies which are getting this kind of, which are facing these kind of problems. So the objective is you wanted to device, or you wanted to create a device which can periodically monitor the baby's fetal movements. Okay, so this is my objective, and the problem statement is there are mixed carriages which happens. Okay, so just imagine, stand in the shoes of a pregnant lady and understand what could be their problem. Can someone give me some idea what kind of device you can develop? Just think and answer. Hello? 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 You can unmute yourself and you can speak. Whatever it strikes your mind, you can speak. Hello? Or what you can do is, I will post these things in the chat box. If you find out solution, you can email us that this is the solution you wanted to produce, you wanted to propose. Okay. So with no further ado, I would like to conclude my session, and I would like to hand over it to Mr. Vishal, who is the final year student of our department, and this is where we stand. Okay, putting our students first. Okay, this is where we stand, and he will deliver how to make drones. Okay, and right now I'll post all these things in the chat box also. You can provide us the solutions for that. Okay, and thank you so much. And Vishal.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Vishal.
Yes,
Vishal,
sir.
you can continue, Vishal.
So you have to close your screen sharing.
Yeah. Okay.
Vishal, one small suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I think I've given access for you as a co-host also.
Yes, sir.
You can see that security system, like allow participants to. Can you able to see that?
Just
Press that icon security, and you can find a screen icon like allow participants to. Can you able to see that? In your, you can see only in the laptop.
No, sir. Allow screen. Yeah, security.
Security
Allow
under security.
participants to-
Yes. So you can find one more option like unmute themselves. Okay. So
Okay.
during your lecture, you just mention that you just remove the tick icon. When you're going to ask a question or any feedback from the student side, you can give a tick mark to that unmute themselves. Okay.
Okay,
Because
sir.
otherwise the students from their side, they are by mistakenly they are unmuting themselves, and we're getting some background noise. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Now I've given allow participants to unmute themselves. I've given us a I didn't remove the tick mark. Okay. Now. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now they cannot able to unmute now. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You can proceed now.
Thank you, sir. And good morning to one and all present here. My name is Vishal. I'm final year student of Mechanical Department of SRM Institute of Science and Technologies. And I'm going to walk into you, and the next honor of this session is going to be taken by me. So I'm going to teach you a workshop on how to make drones, history of drones, everything. Let's get in. Thank you. And before I start, just small thing. Whatever doubts you have, you just take a note of it. And once I finish this workshop, you can contact me like in this meeting, or you can contact me personally, and I'll clear your doubts. Like while going through the PPT, please don't interrupt. Okay, you can put in the chat box. I'll answer it at the end. Okay, thank you. Okay, the topics which I'm gonna be covered in this workshop is. Just a second. Okay, history of drones, types of drones currently available in the market, application of drones and their uses in their respective field, how does a drone work, and how to build a drone from scratch. Okay, what are drones? Drones are actually flying robots that can be remotely controlled or flown autonomously using automated flight plans or doing some software adjustments. Okay, the basic sensors which required to fly a drone is the same as which we use in mobile, such as gyroscope, accelerometer, and in particular some drones or quadcopters, GPS is being used to make the drone stable and the flight more smooth. Okay, let's start with the history of drones. The first drones were made in 1849 with Austrian soldiers when they attacked Venice with unmanned balloons. Sir told about Google balloons, right? Similar to that kind, they use balloons without people, so with bomb placed in it to attack the Venice city. And Abraham Karim is actually known as the founding father of UAVs. In 1915, British military used aerial photography to their advantage in Battle of New Chapel. I'll be showing these photos in the upcoming slides, okay? And Curtiss N2C drone was built in the year 1937 by US regional, I think, I'm not sure. Okay, and this is the thing. In 1990, micro UAVs were started in production, and in 2000, Predator drones. This one, right? You can see in blue color. These are actually called as drones. They are usually manually controlled from any ground station for surveillance, and they usually have some kind of missiles to get revenge or attack the other opposite side. And in 2014, Amazon proposed a business of Amazon Prime Air to deliver products to people like in around 20 to 30 kilometers with drones. And this is the photo of 1848 catering unmanned balloon Austrian soldiers used. And you see radio plane OQ2, right? This was the first ever type of remotely controlled aircraft. And just to go about the basics of what is the difference between UAV? UAV is a common term named as unmanned aerial vehicle, and drones are a part of UAVs. UAVs can also be mentioned as aeroplanes, planes, helicopters are come under UAV category. But drones, especially, there are different type of drones. The photo on the left is also called as a drone, and the things which we use as a hobby and professional drones, they are also comes under drones. Some of the basic applications drones are being used as crop science, like for spraying pesticides and those things, land surveying, marketing, law enforcement. Like last year during the COVID period, police used manual drones to they fitted a speaker with it, and instead of going to critical places like red zones, they used drones to give siren alarm to so that people doesn't come out. Okay. Aerial filming, mostly everyone would see aerial filming like DJI Phantom drones, the white color drones which people will be flying in streets or weddings for taking aerial photograph. Some well-known example would be Fast and Furious skyscraper scene. I'll be showing that video. And currently FPV drones, I'll walk you through that. FPV drones and other kind of drones are being used for filmography, like shooting commercials and advertisements, and even for movies. In Instagram, Bentley, British motor company, released a video of Bentley Continental GT car. The video was completely taken in a drone, like FPV drone. It's a 5-inch drone made by hobbyists, and they have incorporated FPV into filmmaking. And F-150 Lightning, F-150 is a traditional truck, like it's been like for 30 to 40 years, and first electric truck from Ford, that is the Ford F-50, and they have also used FPV to shoot the commercial. And this is the video. These were taken by drones, like obviously this scene came like around 2 to 3 years ago. And thank you. And drones in agriculture. This drone is for surveillance actually. Drones in agriculture, the purpose of that drones is using pesticides. They use drones to spray pesticides and water to place in crops. And drones use LiDAR scanner to measure the height of the crops. Specific drones are used to spray pesticides, fertilizers, and water to crops. And as I said before, drones with speaker. The left one is Mavic 2 Enterprise, and it's a pre-built drone. You just have to connect a speaker with it, and just you can fly it. And this one is called as FreeFly Alta 8. This drone in India currently costs like around 28 lakhs, I think. Currently in India, no one has it, but people are building similar drones like this in India to make it affordable to people. And 3D mapping. 3D mapping is not is as popular in India like other countries. 3D mapping, usually what they do is they used to fly a drone like Mavic or Phantom while taking photos. While the drone is in air, they make the drone to take photo. It takes flight path. The drone would actually cover everything. You can see in the top right corner, right? A flight plan is created in the app itself for flying the drone. The drone will cover the path, and it takes picture of each and everything in the area, so that it can be converted into a 3D view. So before it can be used for real estate also. Okay. And actually, this photo has been spreading like a wildfire in newspapers. This photo was taken by a friend. Like actually, the pilot is a friend of mine. he built those drones. Those drones were usually built for like agriculture purpose, but with the help of Team Daksha, he got permission and he was able to do what is that thing? Sanitization work in hotspot areas of northern India with the drones. It will be filled with IP or alcohol, IP isopropyl alcohol or hand sanitizer to disinfect the areas, red zones. And these are the drones in action. Okay. Okay. Let me walk you through the basics of how does a drone work. Okay. Usually, drone multi-rotors have a similar principle. All the multi-rotors will have a similar principle. Not only multi-rotors, aeroplane, helicopters, everything work in the same principle. The thing is, there are three axes to keep a craft stable in it. That is roll, pitch, and yaw. I think you can see the video, right? I think you can see this, right? Okay. This is a prototype 5-inch frame I'm having. So there are three things: pitch, roll, and yaw. Pitch is the forward motion made by the aircraft, either the front and back. That is called as pitch. And roll is the drifting motion, like turning right or turning left, completely right, not the nose direction. And yaw is the steering of, like, is similar to steering of a car, like changing the nose direction, like changing the drone from this to this. This is the yaw motion. And usually drones doesn't need to have only 4 motors. They can be hexacopter, octocopter. Hexa means 6 motors. Usually what drones will be like, there are 4 motors. Like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 motors. You can see in this bottom right side pic, there are 4 motors. Motor 1 and 4 will always rotate in clockwise direction, and motor 2 and 3 will rotate in counterclockwise direction. So it will be stable, and when air is pushed down from above, it makes the quadcopter rise in air and move forward. Okay, and if you want the drone to move forward, by giving sticks control, the power in the front 2 motors, that is 2 and 4, will be reduced, and power in motor 2 and 3 will increase. So it makes the drone move forward. That's happened with same while going reverse. Motor 1 and 3 will reduce and 2 and 4 will increase. So the drone moves backwards. Okay. Now I'll explain about components of the frame. The main things of the main requirements to build a drone are frame, motors, electronic speed controllers, flight controllers, that is the brain of the quadcopter, transmitter, or we can call as a remote, which we use to control the drone or aircraft, receiver. Receiver is the thing which binds the, you can see the RX, right? RX is known as receiver. PX is not in this photo. RX is a device which binds the drone and the transmitter. And you can see LiPo battery. Battery is also not here. LiPo battery, it is the power source. Lithium polymer batteries are being used. And propeller is which makes the drone to fly. An FPV camera for proper maneuvering. After line of sight, people used to fly FPV, and video transmitter, and this thing is video transmitter. This transmits video, an antenna for the video transmitter, and goggles. Okay, usually people for the past like around 6 years, when people think of drones, they'll first see the one on the left. That is 450 frame. That was a frame made by DJI. DJI are a company which used to make Phantom and all those kinds of drones. 450 drone is made is original to DJI, but lot of clone products and the reason why they are calling this 450 is the diagonal length come from motor to motor. It's 450 mm, so it's called as 450 quadcopter. And on the right side is a famous it's a build by a famous pilot called Mr. Steve or Steele Davis. He's an American pilot, and he usually makes drones, and most of the components are his own product. Okay, let's talk about frame. Okay, actually frame is the main component, which frame is the usually frames are made with carbon fiber or carbon fiberglass. Most of the frames are FPV frames are made up of carbon fiber to withstand crash. Even if you carbon fiber are durable in nature, so it makes the drone resistant and makes them fly proper. There are totally 4 arms quadcopter, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and each frame will be like most of the frames are in. There are different sizes of a frame. This is a 5-inch one, and you can see the types of frames here. The first one is a 450 quadcopter, as I said before. Like since it's been like around 5 years, I'm in this hobby. I've sold little components, so I currently don't have that frame in use. And this is my first build. And this is another frame which I'm using. Like you can see the second photo, right? This is the another build made of carbon fiber frame. This frame has a lifetime warranty. Like even if the frame gets broken, just by sending a mail to the company, I can get it replaced. This is the second frame. And coming to the quadcopter, like what are the uses of those drones? 450 drones are just a beginner drones. Like usually people getting into this hobby buy ready-to-fly kits. The kits will be consisting of frame, motors, electronic speed controllers, everything. You just have to assemble it and connect it with a PC and do the connecting the receiver and the transmitter. And the 450 is just for learning. People usually add sensors to it, like IR sensor to avoid obstacles, and that's just a basic one. And freestyle racing is FPV pilots used to do maneuvers with the camera, with the HD GoPro. We used to connect a GoPro in the front, and we used to take a lot of videos. That's the use of freestyle frame. And racing frame, usually racing frames are light in weight and will be small. The housing will be small when compared to freestyle frames to accommodate small electronics, so that it will be fast. If you can check FPV racing in Instagram or Google, there are a lot of races being conducted in India. And in our college itself, last year 2020 combusted, we conducted a drone racing competition, which like around 15 participants take place, and it was an awesome event we conducted last year. The next one is brushless DC motor. Usually there are two types of motors, brushed motors and brushless DC motor. For FPV drones, brushless DC motor are used because when compared to BLD brushed motors and brushless motors have more power and have less maintenance. They doesn't need more maintenance, and they produce lot of power when compared to the same size of brushed motors. I can show you a photo of it. Okay. Only a small size of brushed motors are being made only for 1S spokes. These motors are 17,000 kV. This is enough to fly this size of quadcopters. This is called as a whoop. This is enough to it's about like 30-35 grams. The old drone is 30-35 grams, and the motors are brushed motors. Only 1S batteries can be run with brushed motors because of their low power. So the left motor is 1000 kV motors. As I said, for 450 frame, usually these type of these are called as generic 2212 1000 kV motors. These motors are used so that they are like cheap motors. Like each motor costs only 300 to 350 rupees each motor. This motor can accommodate 10-inch propeller, will be easy for the 450 frame, and the motors on the right side are for FPV racing. This can't be things can't be swapped between each others. These motors are 2207. They come in different KVs based on which batteries you're going to use. This is 2207 and can accommodate 5 to 7-inch propellers. Okay, as I said before, 1000 kV motors, 2212 is the mounting. 2212 1000 kV motors. These motors are meant for 450 or 650. 650 are hexacopters with 6 blades. The lower the kV, the higher the flight time of the quadcopter. And the motor which I said right on the right side, second one, those are like FPV racing motors or racing motors. 2207, 2306, 2205. There are so many different sizes of motors available in the market, but mainly for 5-inch, 2207 is more than sufficient. And they are available in 2 power options. Some company manufacture like 1300 to 2000 kV for 6S. 6S means 6 cell batteries. For 6 cell batteries, you'll be using 1300 to 1800 kV, and for 4S, 2300 to 2700 kV motors will be used for 4S motors for better power optimization. And electronic speed controller. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. This is an ESC. I think you can see it. Okay, this is an electronic speed controller. This is the main component which gets the power from the battery and gives to the motor for proper running. This makes the motor run. And ESCs are made by different companies and of different sizes. The first one is obviously for 450 frame. That's Simon K ESC. Simon K usually are made for 450 or 650 frame, and the software which they use is Simon K. Protocol is Simon K. The protocol, they call the ESC by the protocol name, Simon K ESCs. And individual ESCs, as I showed you, these are individual ESCs. They can be easily swapped, and these ESCs come in different protocols like KISS FC, BLLES, BLLE32. There are different kinds of ESCs. And 4-in-1 ESC. 4-in-1 ESC are for a quadcopter, we obviously need 4 ESCs. Instead of having 4 individual ESCs, you can see a photo on the right side. Instead of having 4 individual ESCs, 4 ESCs are made in a single board so that it reduces weight of excess weight from the motor, from the frame. And flight controller. As I said before, flight controller is brain of the quadcopter, which gets input from receiver or the sticks which you use and gives and makes the drone fly. Okay. Just a second. Once I finish this slide, I have the flight controller with me. I'll explain you separately. I'll explain what is the purpose of flight controller, how to do the wirings. Flight controller, okay. As for 450 frame, everyone will be using a excuse me. Okay. Today we are gonna see about 3 different flight controllers. The first one is KK board. It is a basic flight controller that is available in either Amazon or other different markets. And the next one is NASA Amlite. This is an advanced flight controller used, designed by NASA for 450 and 650 bigger quadcopters. And the third one is STAC. It is called as ESC and flight controller together. I'll explain in a bit. Okay, the first controller. Most of the pilots who begin their journey in drones will have been, this would be their first flight controller. This is so easy that you just have to do the no soldering required here. You have to connect the ESC wires here and receiver wires, and the drone is completed. And NASA Amlite is a premium build for beginners. This, with the help of GPS, it makes the drone stay fixed, stable at a point, and with the toggle of a switch, you can make the drone return to home. With the toggle of a switch, it makes the drone return to home. And iFlight Stack. This is currently a best product in the market currently. It is an ESC plus FC combo. In the bottom side of the PDB, in the bottom, there will be a powered ESC, and on top of that, flight controller is available. It is made into a stack to reduce excess weight of the build. And transmitter. Obviously, first transmitter is FlySky FSI6. It is the basic transmitter which anyone would go for. And FlySky will only be, any transmitter will be paired with, can be paired with only their own protocol receiver. Like FlySky can be only bound with FlySky receivers. And the third one is TBS Tango 2 Pro. It is a long range transmitter, particularly used for like long range flights. It is a product of Team Black Sheep, and they can only be paired with Crossfire receivers. And the second one is a multi-protocol transmitter. The term multi-protocol is it can be bound with any type of receivers, like example FlySky, FastSky, and all things. And the second transmitter, which I told, is currently a new fish in the market. It uses multi-protocol module, which enables it to bind with any other type of receiver. Receiver will be next part. I'll be telling you. Receiver is excuse me, FrSky is one of the main fish in the market. Like before Tango 2 and any other, where FrSky was the first company which started to make quality radio in the market. So it can also bind with jumper T-Lite transmitter can be bound with FrSky receivers also and FlySky receivers also. But Tango 2 Pro is a transmitter for only long range. Long range in the sense the company claims like around 40 kilometers, but in current situation, it can go around 5 to 10 kilometers at ease. No issues will be there in 5 to 10 kilometers in that transmitter. That requires a different set of receivers and everything. And there is a long range module available separately. TBS, right? Team Black Sheep. Team Black Sheep is a company which has been making long range modules, receivers, BTX, everything for the hobby people. And FlySky, as I said before, I forgot to mention it. FlySky can be customized to the core. Like you can add a long range module to that. Long range module will be like around 6,000 a basic long range module. With that module, you can exactly fly to like around 5 to 10 kilometers, the same quality of a Tango 2 Pro. And the long range module can also be connected to jumper T-Lite transmitter also by doing some minor adjustments in the transmitter itself. The next is receiver. Okay. On the left side is the receivers which are compatible with jumper T-Lite. The main reason why I'm focusing on jumper T-Lite is though the receiver is very small, it's equivalent of a 5-inch phone. That's it. It's equivalent of a phone. The size is equivalent of a phone. The main reason why I'm stressing it is a multi-protocol module. It can be bound with majority of the transmitters receivers available in the market, like FlySky. You can see the bottom 9 receivers, right? These are FlySky receivers. Most of the flight controllers work on the same way, just the wiring is different. And on the right side is FrSky transmitter. FrSky is one of the best company which used to make transmitter for like around 7 years. And this FrSky, this FrSky receiver can be only bound to FrSky transmitters. And the main advantage of this jumper T-Lite is transmitters with multi-protocol module. It can be bound to any hobby kind of drones, like the drones which you buy in shops and toy drones. They can be bound with that too because of the multi-protocol module. And on the right side is a completely separate receiver which can only bound with Crossfire. Crossfire is a term given for long range system. TBS Crossfire, Team Black Sheep's Crossfire for long range. The top one is micro receiver, and the bottom one is nano receiver. And nano receiver, Crossfire nano receiver, it is the world's smallest receiver, which is capable of transmitting for around 30 to 40 kilometers. Yeah, as I said before, you can see this receivers, right? These 9 receivers are compatible FlySky transmitter only, and this 5 receiver is only compatible with FrSky receiver. But all this receiver are compatible with jumper T-Lite. They basically work on 2.4 gigahertz. So all the receiver which work on 2.4 gigahertz can be used with a jumper T-Lite transmitter. But in Crossfire, we can't do that because it works in 915 megahertz. So it needs a different type of receiver to work with. And let's go to the battery. I have live photos, like I have battery in hand. Once I finish this presentation, I'll switch to another device and I'll show you battery and you can ask your questions. Okay. Basically, batteries are of many types. 1S, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Totally currently 6 type of batteries are available. One has is in single cell battery. The LiPo battery is the minimum voltage is 3.5 and they can go up to 4.2. You can fly from 4.2 to 3.5. Below that, it is a danger level for the batteries. And 2 cell is second one is 3S configuration, which 3600 mAh. Which 3600 mAh, these types of batteries are used for 450 quad. As I said before, 450 quad are a beginner's quad and can be used for that. And the third one is 4S battery. 4S battery is 4 individual cells will be placed in the battery, and the total voltage will be 16.5. That is 4.2 into 8, 16.8, I think 16.8. And the fourth one is 6S configuration, that is 22 volts. Whenever the voltage, whenever the cells are increasing, the mAh will be already be reduced. The number of cells increases, rate is also increasing, so the mAh is being reduced by the company. Okay, as I said, okay, I can explain you here. The 1S LiPo cells are used for brushed and brushless DC motor. Mostly they are used for brushed motors. As I shown you before, right? This is a 65 mm hoop. From year to year, it's 65 mm. So it uses a 1S battery. And this is a 1S battery. Okay, single cell battery. It goes in the bottom of the quadcopter, and the voltage is 4.2. From 4.2 to 3.5, I can fly the quadcopter safely. And the third one is for major, like most of the people use that for 450 or 650 quadcopters. They use an higher mAh for longer flight time. And in recent time, in 1 year, small quadcopters are being famous in the market, like 2-inch and 4-inch are being used. For 2-inch and 4-inch, we can't be using like 4S or 6S batteries because of overweight. We can use 3S and 2S batteries for that kind. And 3-cell, as I said before, 4-cell. 4-cell LiPos are used for 2300 to 2800 mAh. That's the one. That's the motor which I'm using because they produce high RPM. That is, I can explain you. Each cell maximum voltage is 4.2 into 4. That is 16.8 in total voltage. 16.8 into the kV of the motor. My motor kV is 2700. So nearly 45,000 RPM is produced by each motor in my quadcopter. And the same with 6S. 4.2 into 6 brings 25.2. And when we go to 6S, the motor kV is always reduced because we can't run a 2700 kV in 6S because it produces so much amp draw and it makes the motor burn and the ESC will go dead. So what the company do is they'll reduce the winding, they'll adjust the winding so that the kV is reduced from 2700 to 1700 or 1300 to make better flight time. Though RPM is directly proportional to speed of the flight, but the power produced from 6S is far more greater than 4S. And since amp draw is less, flight time is also increased in 6-cell LiPos. And for past 2 years, lithium-ion batteries are being used. Lithium-ion batteries, these are the batteries that are being used in Tesla cars. And if anyone have opened a laptop battery, like behind there would be a battery bay. If you have opened that, you can see a series of 6 or 8 18 650 cells. Those cells contain lithium ion. Those batteries are being used for drones itself, but only limited power, limited quantity, because they produce less power when compared to LiPo. And the main reason which they are being used is because of their long range flight. When LiPo battery will go will get the power will be depleted at 3.5 voltage, whereas in lithium ion battery the power goes down to 3.2 or 2.8. So the flight time will be increased, but the power will be so less. The power produced from the battery is less when compared to lithium polymers. So lithium ions are only used for long range flights. And propellers, these are the main things. These people used to call as blades, but they are professionally known as propellers. Propellers are responsible for proper flight. They are responsible for flight. Okay, the first one is 1045 propellers, 10 inch, and for the 1045 used to call 1045, right? 10, the term 10 is the size of the propeller is 10 inch, and 45 is the angle of which the propeller bent. 45 is the degree at which the propeller is bent. These bigger propellers are made of glass fiber, I think, glass fiber. These and 650 style car. Number of blades the process 2 blade 3 4 5. Okay, just a second. Okay. The advantages of using a 2-blade is it will be fast and the pitch size will be so high, so it makes the quad move fast. And compared to 3-blade, usually the pitch size is low, so it makes the drone move a bit slow compared to 2-blade. Excuse me. And low pitch propellers. Once I finish this, I'll show you the propellers and I'll explain you the purpose. Low pitch propellers are being used for flying, for freestyle flying. Some pilots would do a small, like slow flying. They wouldn't be aggressive. So low pitch propellers are being used. Because of the low pitch, it makes the quadcopter fly smooth. And for racing, you need to do a sharp hairpin bend splitters and all those maneuvers. For that, you need a thick propeller, like the pitch must be thick. So it makes the quad move faster. And now we'll get into FPV. FPV stands for first person view. Most of you playing PUBG would have come across the word FPV. It is a type of viewing menu which makes you feel like you are the player, like you are the player, like standing there. That so in this presentation, in this FPV, FPV is like you are sitting in the cockpit, so you'll be seeing what the drone is seeing. And FPV, first we'll start with cameras. There are 4 components which are necessary: camera, BTX, antenna, and goggles. Let's start with camera. Camera is the main thing which transmits photo, live video from the quadcopter to the goggles which we wear. Usually, racing cameras use low latency to make fast maneuvers, whereas freestyle pilots use high resolution cameras. High resolution in the sense, say, crisper image with crisper image. And the next one is video transmitter, VTX or video transmitter. This is the main component of an FPV system. This receive video from the camera and transmit it to the goggles view. You can see these are the main 2 companies which are best in producing manufacturing video transmitters, Rush and Team Blackshape. And just a fact, you can see this TBS Unified Nano, right? This is the world's smallest VTX. It weighs only 5 to 6 grams, world's smallest VTX. And let's go to antenna. FPV antenna. This looks like a simple component, but it's the main component. If the antenna is not properly mounted or anything happens to the antenna, you lose the FPV feed, and the drone will be flying like around couple hundred meters from you, and the drone will fall from the air. Antennas are available in different sizes with different connectors. There is only 2 classification of the antennas: RHCP, LHCP. That's right-hand circular polarization and left-hand circular polarization. Both work on the same level. Only the movement of the signal from the antenna to the goggles is varying. The one moves in right like clockwise, and the other moves in counterclockwise. And the final one is FPV goggles or screen. The left side one is EV800D. It is a basic goggles. It is a basic box tail goggles used to get used for video, like viewing the video which the drone sees. And the bottom one is an best of the market, like Fatshark goggles. I'll show you in a bit. And the right one is a module used to receive the video. We need like transmitting video from the quad. We need a module in the drone, in the goggles, to receive the video which the drone is transmitting. So we need a VRX, that is called as video receiver. It receives video, it receives signal and converts it into video. And this is the big bull of the market currently. This is the DJI FPV goggles. I'll show you how differentiation between analog and digital. Analog is the one like CCTV you used to see in CCTV cameras, and digital is like you take a mobile video, like the video which you record is similar to digital FPV. This came like around back in 2019, and it made a huge impact. And everyone went crazy. And because of DJI, when they introduced this FPV system, it made many people to get into the field, because everything was so simple. You just have to connect the motor wires and do the basic wiring, and the drone is ready to fly. just by connecting and just doing some switches, the drone is ready to fly. They made it so simple, and since the videos are so clear, it made more and more people to get into this hobby. And the PPT is going to end, and this is the video how analog. This is what we'll be seeing in the goggles, like analog pilot. It is a video of mine. I took this video. Yeah. Just a second. Okay, this is the noise which is created by the drone. You can see the bottom right corner is the battery voltage. It was from 16.8. My friends were with me, so while doing that, we were talking. So the battery voltage reduced, and this is the flight time. I wasted like around 6 minutes. The drone was just on all the 6 minutes, and on this left side you can see the numbers varying. This is the throttle. On the left side there will be throttle. This is the throttle input, and this is RSSI, radio signal strength indicator. It shows the quality of signal between the transmitter and the receiver. This video was taken like a couple of months back. Okay, sorry, I just skipped it. And this is the video which is taken by a friend of mine by using a action camera. We use an action camera on the top to take HD footage, and this is a video of it. These videos were taken by a 5-inch quadcopter, 5-inch drone, 5-inch FPV drone to be in particular. He is a friend of mine. He's been in this hobby for nearly 6 years. Okay. Okay. Before I switch to explaining in practical session, I'll just give a small intro. This photo was taken by me back in 2019. Many of you might realize what this is. This is the Kathipara Bridge in Chennai, in Guindy. I was lucky enough to take this photo back in 2019. Since this place is close, so close near the airport, I was lucky there was no plane that time. This photo was taken at an height of nearly 1,100 feet, I guess. I'm not sure about the height. I get goosebumps every time when I see this photo. And this one is our beloved campus, SRM Ramapuram. You can see here, this is the main admin block. This photo was taken back in 2020 for our department symposium combusted. And this is the basketball ground and bus parking, admin block, and this is Ishwari campus. This side is Ishwari campus. This photo I took, this is the maximum height which I've reached, like it's 2,500 feet. Like I would have posted and I have given it for college photos also, like SRM at 2,000 feet. And the next one is VIT Chennai. This is VIT Chennai. Since I went for a drone competition there back in 2019 itself, I took a picture of that campus, and this photo was taken at around 800 feet, I guess, 800 feet or 900 feet. And this is the helipad over there. That campus had 3 helipads. This is one of the helipad. And this is another pic of SRM Ramapuram campus from the other side. Like the main road is here, and this is Ishwari campus and the bus parking here, the main road here. Our admin block is here and SRM building is here. Okay. And thank you. I'll now switch to my mobile phone and I'll show you more. I'll show you the components of the drone. Okay. Okay. Sir, is my voice audible?
Audible.
Yes, Vishal. Yes, yes. You're audible.
Sir?
Vishal. Yes. You can continue. Continue, Vishal.
Sir, is my voice audible?
Yes, Vishal. Can you hear me back?
Sir?
Can you hear me?
Sir?
Now it is clear. You can continue.
Yeah, okay, sir. And I'll start with the basic components. Okay. This is a frame which I've been using for past like 2 years. This is the first 5-inch frame I bought. This frame is made up of carbon fiber and it is a 5-inch frame. And as we go to motors, these are, okay, Emax Eco motors. These motors are brushless DC motor with a size of 2207. We call as 2207, and the kV is 2400 kV. So these are clearly 4S motors. And the next component is ESC, electronic speed controller. ESC will be connected to a power distribution board, and that will be connected to a flight controller, and a receiver will be connected here. So I'll show you the transmitter. Okay. This is my transmitter. I hope everyone can see. Okay, this is my transmitter. As I told, this is the TPS Tango. It is a long-range transmitter.
Only 1 second. I request all the participants to pin Vishal so that you can view it in a bigger screen. Okay. Once you pin him, only you can see it in a bigger screen. So I request all the participants to pin Mr. Vishal B. Okay. Continue, Vishal.
Okay, sir. And I'm sorry, guys, whatever doubts you have, I am happy to answer at the end of the meeting. Okay. I'll just finish my part. Okay. Okay. This is the transmitter I've been using. This transmitter like around 3 months old. It came out like around 1 year ago. It is a complete long range transmitter for flying long range. And the receiver which can be connected to with this is this one. As I told before, this transmitter can be only bound to TBS crossfire receivers, and this is that. Okay, I think you can see that. Okay, this receiver is smaller than my finger, smaller than a part of my finger. This is capable of flying the longest distance, which I did is 2 kilometers flight, and it took me like around a minute or minute and a half to reach 2 kilometers. It was done with this flight. Okay, I'll continue here. Just a second. Okay, it'll be easier here. Okay. I'll walk you through the wiring. The main components are frame, motors, ESC, flight controller, and RX over here. Currently this RX is dead. I can't fly right now. This is the RX, and camera, I have ordered one. It's missing currently now. Sorry for that. Camera, VTX. This is the VTX and antenna, and goggles.
ERSC goggles. As I said before, the entry-level goggles, this is the entry-level goggles, Eachine EV800D. It's good for basic flights. Okay, the wiring is, there will be usually three wires on the motors. This wires will be connected to ESC. All the ESCs will have three pads on this side, one side, and two pads on the other side. Two pads, one is positive and one is negative. These ESCs are capable of 3 to 6S flights. So if I want to upgrade to 6S motors, I can swap these 4 motors and get 6S motors and use with the same ESC. That is the advantage of using this ESC. And flight controller. Currently, I think I can't lift this flight controller. I'll show you PDB, just a second. Okay. Okay, it's soldered back in there. I can't show you the PDB. PDB is placed in the bottom. This flight controller is for 4-in-1 ESC. As I said before, this was supposed to be used as a stack. Like bottom there will be ESCs and on the top flight controller. But since I'm good, I like this ESCs. I doesn't want to switch to 4-in-1 ESC. And the main reason why I'm using individual ESC is, if an ESC gets burned or damaged, I can just solder the 5 wires and swap with the new ESC. I have a new ESC here, I can just swap it. So that's the main reason why I'm using this. But the wiring with this is an issue. It takes a lot of wiring. From an ESC, as I told before, there will be 2 wires, positive and negative, and there is a white wire going, right? That's a signal wire that gives signals to the flight. The signal from the flight controller is given to the ESC, and appropriate power is given to the motor. And flight controller is bane of the flight controller. You can see the first 3 pads, right? Okay. You can see these 3 pads, right? That is for connecting the camera. 5-volt, ground, and camera pad. So that the camera will be connected here. From the camera, the video is transmitted through the flight controller, and this is the VTX wires. This wire will be connected here, and the video is transmitted to the VTX, from the VTX to the goggles, to the antenna, and from the antenna it transmits, so it's called as VTX, video transmitter, and it receives video, so it's called as VRX, video receiver. So that's pretty much here and that. Now I'll show you battery. Okay, I currently, most of the batteries which I have are only 1S and 4S. Okay. These are 1S batteries, single cell batteries. The maximum voltage is 4.2, as I said, and the minimum voltage is 3.5. Actually, it's 3.85. I suggest you not to go below 3.5 because it's hard to retrieve the cells. Once the cells go below 3.5, they are difficult to retrieve. This is the 1S batteries. And as I said, for 3 years, this is a 3 cell. I think you can see there are 3 individual layers in this cell. 1, 2, you can see 1, 2, 3. All the batteries will usually have two set of wires. One is power lead and one is balance lead. Balance lead is for properly charging the battery and discharging the battery. With the help of balance lead only, the power is transmitted, the battery is charged with the help of power leads, the positive and negative terminal. But how much power is given and how much power should be taken is done with this balance lead only. And this balance lead is so much important for all the batteries, and you can see that in all of the batteries. And this is my 4S 450 mAh, and this is for a 2.5-inch quad. I'll show you that in a bit. And as I said before, lithium ions are being popular currently. So lithium, these are lithium polymers, LiPo, and these are lithium ion. Sorry, just a second. These are lithium ion. These contain 4 individual cells of 18650. The pack is similar here. Okay. This is an homemade 18650. I tore up some power banks and I made this, but the cells which I used here are old, and it's like a copy version from China, copy cells. So this doesn't produce much power as this, because these cells are imported and they have better chemical composition, so the power will be proper. Okay, this one is naked and this one is case. That's the difference between these two. And excuse me. Thank you. Sorry. And this is the 4S lipo which I'm using, my favorite brand. Actually, I've taped it. This contains the same as this 3 cell. Instead of 3-4 layers will be available in this, and the MAH is 1850 MAH. So 4 divided by 1850, like, sorry, I'm not that good at max. And this has same 4 balance lead, while this has 5 balance lead. 4 balance lead for each balance lead for each cell, and 1 ground lead. So you can see 1 red and 4 black wires. And this is the power lead. And this is the 450 mAh 4S lipo. Like the connectors are different. Okay, I forgot to tell about the connectors. Okay. Both are 4S. Okay, but the connectors are different. You can see this is an XT60. The connector name is XT60, whereas in this one is XT30. You can see XT30 connectors. These are for smaller copters to reducing weight. That's the main purpose of adding different connectors. And as I said before, the transmitter which I'm using is multi-protocol transmitter. Sorry, this one is a crossfire transmitter, but I'm having another different type of quadcopters and planes. For using that, I need a separate module. As I said before, the jumper T-Lite comes with an inbuilt multi-protocol module. For this transmitter, I had to get one separately. This is the multi-protocol transmitter I'm having. It was manufactured by Team Black Sheep itself. I just have to do an hardware mod, like open it and connect wire and fix it. With this transmitter alone, I can fly only nano RX, like long range flights. Excuse me, crossfire flights, quads. With the help of this one, I can bind it to any transmitter, any receiver I want. I can bind it to this one. This as an FrSky receiver, I can bound it to this one. And FlySky, as I said, right? FlySky was my first transmitter too. This is the first receiver which I got. I can bind this receiver with this module to this transmitter with this module only. So this is the module which I'm using. This is a multi-protocol module which helps me bind with any other like toy drones or toy RC cars, drones, everything. This goes just in here. That's it. That's it. It can be, it's now a multi-protocol transmitter. Okay. Now I'll show you what an FPV feeds look like. Before that, I'll show you a smaller quad. Okay. Is it okay? I show like this, or I'll keep it in the board? Like anyone? Guys? Okay. It's clear. So like I didn't ask if it's clear or not. I just wanted to, is this okay or showing that? Okay, I'll do it.
See, it is your day. Okay, you can speak freely. There is no problem in giving out your answers. Okay, rather than posting in chat box, you can speak freely with him.
Guys, I'm also a student like you, man. Can you please keep it on the board, sir? Yeah, okay, done. Oh, is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, done. Okay. So this is my new build I did a week ago. All the quadcopters work in a similar way, but the configuration and the things are different. Okay. And you see here, right? This is an RX. You can see jumper R1. This is a receiver which was meant to be bind with jumper T-Lite transmitter. But I can bind this with my Tango 2 Pro, the long-range transmitter, with the help of multi-protocol module. All the components which are available in this are are same as to that in this one, just the size is different. You can see the VTX, right? It's this much big. It's a 800 milliwatt VTX, and this is the VTX here. It's I told you, right? TBS Unify Nano VTX. This is the VTX. This is the world's smallest VTX, and it weighs like around 6 to 7 grams only. This is the VTX. The work which they do is same. This VTX and this one, their work is to transmit video. They does that, but the power output from this VTX is limited to 400 milliwatt because VTX tends to get heat a lot. So since it's small, it doesn't want to affect the flight performance. So it's limited to 400 milliwatt, whereas this one is used for bigger flights. So it can go up to 800 milliwatt or even a 1 watt, so that you can go for long range. I went around 2 kilometers I went with this receiver. And motors, you see, the motors in that are 2207 motors. The motors which I'm using are 1404, 1404, and 4500 kV. Since the copters are small, they require small motors and smaller propellers. And you can ask me, I'm using an individual ESC over there and a flight controller, but there is only one board here. Sorry, the RX is, yeah, okay, I can remove it now. Okay, just a second. It's got messy. Okay, sorry for that. It's because of double side tape, it's getting messy. And you can ask me, there is only one main board which controls the quadcopter. That is because it is an AIO. AIO stands for all-in-one. Usually all-in-one came across like 4 years ago, but they didn't perform well for 5-inch quadcopters or 4-6-inch. So, but currently, like around 6 months, they are becoming a trend for this type of drones. Since they are small, they doesn't require much power, much knowledge, because this is an F4 flight controller, whereas this is an F7 flight controller. F4, the difference between F4 and F7 is simple. They the sensors which use are in two quantity. In F4 there will be one gyroscope, one accelerometer, whereas in F7 there will be two gyroscope and two accelerometer. That's it. So below this you can see the ESC is mounted. It's a, even though it is a single one, the ESCs are mounted on bottom side, and this is the FC. As I told you before, I told you, right, there will be three pads soldered for the, I told you 3 pads, right? These 3 pads. These 3 pads are available here for connecting the camera wire. Camera wire will come through here, and RX wire. You can see the RX. RX stands for receiver. Receiver is connected here, over here, and VTX is connected here. 4 wires are need to be connected. VTX can take power between the quad is power in a 4 cell. So 4 cell means 16 volt. 2 to 4S, but this VTX can only take 5 volt. That is, it can take only 1 cell. So what I did is, there are different power output pads available. So I'm using a 5 volt power output pad to power this VTX and ground as usual. And there are 2 wires here. One is for receiving the signal, video signal from the camera. The video signal from the camera is given to the flight controller, and from the flight controller, the video signal is given to the VTX. From that, it goes through the antenna. Sorry, it's a bit messy. I couldn't find screws for this mounting style, so I had done put hot glue antenna, and it's transmitted and it's received by the goggles. I'll show you how this video looks, FPV video looks in this goggles test in a bit. And that's it. And another wire is for controlling the VTX. This VTX, you can see a button here, bind button here. This is used for changing the power output. This VTX is capable of producing 25 milliwatt to 800 milliwatt. From moving from 25 milliwatt to 800 milliwatt, I need to adjust it. For that, instead of doing by button, I have given a wire that is called smart audio. With the help of transmitter, I can do that by changing the power output. That is done here. And as for, forgot the propellers. And this is the FPV camera. This is a Foxy or a Micro Eraser. This camera was like around 2000. And propellers, I'll finish propellers and I'll show you the FPV feed. Okay, this actually I said before, right? 4 motors. 2 motors will have same direction propellers, and other 2 will have opposite direction. you can see this as clockwise. Since it is an inverted, the flight controller is inverted. Okay, I'll explain you in this. Clockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, counterclockwise. Okay, the blades here in this will look like okay, I'm sorry. Okay. I told like low pitch blades. These are low pitch blades. These are made by Mr. Steel. These are for smoother flights. You can see 4 propellers are available. You can see usually the propellers look like fan blade. The way fan works is the tip of 3 blades, the blade will be a bent so that it gets it pushes down the air from above. Propellers work in the same way. You can see this side it's bent. So when it rotates, it pushes the air downwards, so clockwise direction. And if you see this one, it's bent in the opposite direction. So if it moves in counterclockwise direction, air is pushed downwards. So here clockwise, clockwise, so air is pushed downside, and counterclockwise, counterclockwise. So the air is maintained properly and the quadcopter is in motion. That is the basic propeller, basic working of a propeller. And these are low pitch propellers. The pitch length is small, pitch thickness is small. Whereas I'll show you high pitch props. Okay, these are high pitch props. You can see, I'll show you a comparison. Okay. Okay, both are clockwise propellers. You can see here, right? Is an R configuration, R configuration. You see the size of the pitch. Pitch is the angle for it's. I'm not sure about the pitch angle. This is less and this is high. These propellers are used for race to make the quadcopter turn fast while doing hairpin bend or split S. This is in 3S. Both are 3S. And as of 2 blade. These are 2 blades. You can see, right? Only 2 blades are available. Clockwise motor, clockwise. Only 2 blades are available, and the pitch is so much thick that these are high pitch props. With the help of props, yeah, okay, I'll tell you. If you're using low pitch props, if you want to make the quadcopter turn like this, if you give the this input, the quad will turn like this. If you're using a 3 blade, but if you're using a 2 blade, it makes an immediate turn because the pitch is high and only 2 blades are there. It makes a quadcopter response so much higher. So 2 blades we're using for racing, but since the arm draw is higher, since the motor drone, like instead of turning like this, it makes the fast turn. The amp draw from the battery and ESC is so high, which some ESCs doesn't constrain, and the motor gets fried. The motor will be completely fried. Smoke will come and the motor is dead. Nothing can be done. So 2 blades were not preferred by pilots lately during for racing because so much kind of 3 blade and 4 blades are in the market. So 2 blades are not liked by many pilots here. But for some fast flights and doing some turns, I use 2 blades also. And what I missed, I missed chargers. Actually, chargers are the main thing. Actually, you see this charger is so small, but this charger can charge my batteries like in around 20 minutes. This charger is ISTT Q6 Pro. This charger costed like around 5,000. You can get a basic charger like 2,000. But the work which they do vary from charger to charger. There are more powerful chargers than this. You have to connect your battery or power supply here, and this is an input, and you have to connect your battery. There is a balance rate for 6 cell and XC60. So you have to connect here and charge the batteries. There is once I've showed you the final video, I'll get back to the charger, like how to do a charging. Now I'll just tell about my another drone. Most of you are familiar with this drone. This is DJI Mavic Pro. Actually, this was my first drone I started. I started with the 450 and I bought this. Okay. Actually, this was my second drone. All the photos which you saw in the PPT were taken with this guy. Like he's like nearly 2.5 years old. I currently can't find my home because the room is smaller and it's not advisable for DJI drones to fly in room, like inside buildings and those things. The same thing works here. 4 motors, 2 motors in clockwise and 2 motors in counterclockwise, except this is highly professional and these are more advanced. So with the help of Chief, if you open this top, you can find a GPS here, which makes the quad stable in air. Even if I leave the throttle, the quad still stays in air, unless other type of drones which doesn't do that. The FPV drones doesn't not work like this one. They just work like moving forward, everything same, but it can't stay stable in air. And the battery which they have used are lipo lithium combo, I think, yeah. Lithium ion polymer batteries. It is a combination of lithium ion and polymer, because as I said before, lithium polymers are powerful and lithium ions are capable of doing better flight time. The flight time will be increased. So they did a combination like this. And these are smart batteries. These batteries cost like around 9,000 to 10,000 each batteries. The reason why they are costing so much is they are smart batteries. What they do is, if you keep the batteries in full charge, like for 2 days, it will ask you in the app which you control the drone. It will ask you how much days you want the batteries to get to storage mode. Storage mode is, you can see, it's like in around 75%. Storage mode is 25% is storage mode. From 100%, 75% will be reduced, so the batteries will be in storage mode. In storage mode, no chemical reaction will take place, so the batteries can be stored for like around 3 to 4 months and no problem. So for the past 5 months, I did not do any flights because I did a laser surgery, so no flights were done because not to strain my eyes. So what I did is, I put all the batteries in storage mode, so that from 16.5, 4.2, all in each cell will be like around 3.85, so that the whole no chemical reaction will take place and the batteries will stay forever for like 3 months. But once 3 months, you need to like give a jump start, you just have to turn on the battery or charge it and put it again in storage mode. These are needed. And the transmitter for these quadcopters these drones can be only their own company product. This is the transmitter which I use for Mavic Pro drone. You have to on it. The bottom side, you have to connect your drone, and top is antenna. And I'm not sure, this is like 2 years old, so I'm not sure about the video recording and photos which it takes, but it can be controlled here. With the help of this ISO is being controlled, and with this dongle, with this gear, the movement of gimbal is controlled. The gimbal moves up and down and taking photos, videos, movement of drone is everything similar. After that, what is left? I'll show you my goggles, my personal goggles. The EV800D was my first goggles. Like it was beginning goggles, like I bought 2 years ago. And this is my main goggles I'm using. As I told you, it is Fat Shark. Like in my D packet, kept this thing, and I am not sure about that. This is the goggles. The goggles does not come with an RX, like VRX. Sorry, this is VRX, video receiver. We have to buy it separately. And you know what is antennas? I told you about antennas, right? There are 2 different classifications of antennas. Oh, I'll show you the small ones. Okay. Polarized antenna, patch antenna. Polarized antenna, it works like a donut. What it does, both antennas can be used in both in transmitting and receiving. It can be used in receiving also. Receiving is the goggles and transmitting is the quad. What they do in receiving is, they will be receiving the video feed in a donut shape, 360-degree shape, 360-degree angle. So wherever the video is, the output, it will be received by this. And the use of patches, they direct the beam at a single point. If I'm flying towards like this side, I'm standing straight. And if I'm using a patch over here, this patch receives only in this direction, but not like in 180 degrees. It receives only at straight. Okay. And this is the bigger version of patch antenna. This is Video Aerial System, one of the best in the market, and Ethics, like both are from Video Aerial System. Both are best one in the market. Since these are when I put the goggles, put these goggles in my eye, the antenna will be here, so it will be above my head, so that no there will be fluids in our brain, right? It doesn't affect the performance of this. Since it's bigger, it can receive more signal, and the elements which are used in this are similar, but the quality is better than this. So the video feed will be even more better. And the working of patch, these two are patch antennas, but this will work better because the elements used in this are similar, but the quality is better, as I said before. Since these are better quality, this can penetrate even concrete walls, like 5 to 6 inch thick concrete walls. Like I didn't fly, but I tested with my building house. So this performs so much better than these. So installing one patch and one Omni gives better reception, like this here. These are goggles these are antennas which they gave with the goggles. With just adapting an adapter, it can be used as a goggle or as a screen. I still give it to people like who are with me. I used to take it with me. So if anyone with me are with me, they can see the video feed, like video feed of FPV. I'll now show you your FPV feed. Okay, just a second. Actually, currently I thought of flying this one, but I made a silly mistake now. The antenna, right, RX antenna, receiver antenna got cut, so it's not safe to fly without antenna. And while if you're making a drone, like you can contact me, I can help you in building a drone, like buying components and thing. And people in Chennai actually will ask me like, can I buy components from Richie Street? But I'll suggest you don't ever go there, because there are so many people like who just wants to sell. I told you about the 450 frame, right? The frame costed me like around 600 only in online, but a guy fooled me by selling the frame for 2000. That was back in 2018. 2017. I didn't have enough knowledge, and there was no contacts for me to get guidance. And that guy sold the frame for like around 2000. The actual price of the frame is only 600. And motors I bought each for 700, while the motor price was only 400. That way, we'll do this while I'm asking questions, while you ask doubts, okay? I'll just show you the feed. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay. This is connected, and I'll show you the feed. I hope everyone can see, right? Sir, is it visible? Like, is it proper, guys? Anyone can respond, like, in voice?
Visible.
Okay, sir. Okay, and this is what we'll be seeing when I wear the goggles. So I'll maneuver the drone, and I told you, right? 16 point. Sorry, I can't balance it. Okay. Okay. This is what we'll be seeing while flying the drone. The bottom left-hand side is the battery voltage, 16.7 volt, and 4.17 is average cell voltage. Each cell voltage is 4.17, and right side is the flight time. And there are 3 modes. Like I forgot to tell this. I'll just do in a bit. Okay. Sorry, I can't currently fly it because of RX issue. Just off it. Okay. In FPV drones or these kind of drones, there are usually 3 modes. One is acro, horizontal angle. Acro mode is where you will do all the acrobatic stuff. While when you saw the video of Tintin Resort, you can see that pilot did a flip roll. Sorry, this is flip and this is roll. To do that, you need full control of the drone. You need all the sensors, like the sensors would be off for doing that. That can be done only in acro mode. In angle mode, it's similar to that of a DJI flight. So if you push forward, the drone goes forward, and when you stop the pinch and the drone comes back to center level, that's center level. And horizontal is a combination of acro and angle together, so that it can work like both angle and acro. That's the basic thing I want to tell. And anything else? Okay. Now we'll move to question and answer session. There I can clear more doubts. Okay, guys, one at a time, please.
See, we are open for question and answers, and if you have any specific questions, you can ask him directly. Okay. So feel free to ask something. Okay, because at the end of the day, there should be some takeaways from this event. Okay, so you can unmute yourself and speak.
Sir, so recently there is a video being popular in social media that a boy has made drone and made it use as a hoverboard, a large size drone. If you want, I can send the link to you in the chat box. He used a large scale drone and used it as an hoverboard to use it as an hoverboard. So what kind of process and what kind of motors, etc., and propellers he might be used, because it's a large scale, right?
Okay, was that in a black color?
Yeah.
Okay. Was the guy wearing any like kind of protective suits, anything?
No, it was just a helmet and normal jumpsuit, and he was catching like a remote handle in his single hand, not a double-handed one.
Controlling the throttle of the quadcopter. That thing currently it's not possible to build. The thing which they have used is so high in power. I told you, right? For better flight time, we use like lower kV motors, like 1300 kV. Those guy, as per my thought, you'd be using 300 kV motors only maximum. Less than that, that's not possible. And I'm not sure whether that comes under drone or not. The way it works is drone, but that's not a drone.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Sir, what is the
Yes.
maximum weight that a drone can lift? Like a normal drone?
Like normal drone in the sense, what kind of drone you are referring?
Like a quadcopter, you said that you could build at home. What would be the maximum weight it can lift?
Yeah, okay, that depends on quadcopter to quadcopter. I showed you a photo of 450 quad, right?
Yeah.
The orange one, white one. That is the thing which we use to lift weight. That can lift a weight of like 2 kgs maximum. That's it.
Okay. And can it be improved in any way? Like if we try hard?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you are using it for what purpose you are asking for?
Like for example, the Amazon delivery drones and all, they lift like I think around 6-7 kgs. How are they able to do that?
Okay, that thing is possible, but with the help of octocopter or hexacopter, quadcopter, it's not possible. Like with 4 motors, you can't do that. With 6 motors or 8 motors, it's possible, but you need a kV of around 300 kV, and you need 6s or 12s.
Okay. Okay.
So average motor RPM would be like around 8,000 to 9,000. So that you can expect the drone to lift around 8 kgs maximum. But controlling that is difficult. You can't control that with this F7 or flight controller. You need a DJI NASA or a Pixar for that. Pixar controllers. Pixar controllers, like original controllers, cost like around 22,000.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Guys, anyone?
Any more questions?
Guys, I'll leave my Instagram or contact number in the description chat box. If you want to ask any doubts or questions personally, you can always, okay? I'll now put it in the chat box.
And to all the participants, if you find today's event to be, say, informative, and if you want a separate session, okay, if you are interested for a separate session, we could make it happen. Okay. If we just need some responses in the chat. If you are interested for a separate session, we can have it one fine day, like a half a day workshop or a certificate program on making drones. So you can if you are interested, please post it in the chat box. We'll make it happen.
Okay, guys, I've given my phone number and my Instagram ID. So if you wanted to ask anything like specific in drones, like apart from this meeting, you can contact me always. Okay. My phone number and Instagram handle I have given mentioned here. Okay. I was expecting more and more people to ask questions. Like last workshop, I asked like a Q&A session alone went for an hour. So I was expecting something like that. Which sensors do you, oh bro, like which sensor do you use to stabilize the drone? Stabilize the drone, we can use GPS. That's based on what type of stabilization you want. If you want the drone to be stable, fixed, you will be using GPS. That's the thing which you need. Anyone else?
Sir?
Yes.
Are there any licenses or permit for driving a drone, sir, for piloting it? For
Okay.
DIY drones?
There is a board called DGCA, Director General of Civil Aviation. They came up with regulations that we have to, the drone pilots who have drone have to enlist a drone. But after that, they didn't let us know like what are the rules to get a license. Anything is now clear. But before getting it, like there are so many centers like we'll train you. They what they do is they charge you like around 10-20K for just letting you know what I told you. How does a drone work and make you fly on real drone? They charge you. That's like I personally felt that. So before doing that, check with RC communities. Like there are many groups and IDRL. You can post your questions there. IDRL. There is a app called IDRL. There is a group for communication itself, so you can contact them and ask whether it's legit or not and can try. But currently there is no proper platform for registering a drone and getting a license. Currently there is no. The answer is no.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sir, what happens to the drone if the radio link fails?
Sorry?
What happened to the drone if the radio link is failed?
Okay, the quad falls from the air. That's it. That's the case with the quad without GPS. But the another reason why we are using GPS is to make the quad stable, and the another one is to point out the longitude and latitude of the quad where it is. That's the use of using a GPS. So the DJI quad, right, I showed you, right? With the DJI, if the signal gets lost, there is an option that it makes the drone fly back to you and gets land at the place where it took off. That's there. That option is there. But in FPV or higher builds like this, if the radio link gets cut, the drone, what it does is it climbs to an altitude and comes back to near to place. If it take off from here, and it comes like around 30 to 40 meters closer to that place, and either it drops or the link will again get connected. So the quad will be safe. Only if you are using GPS. That too, the GPS should be bound properly.
Okay, sir. Can drone use in indoors?
Sorry, how much does it cost to make a basic handmade drone? Okay, basic handmade drone. Like what can you? Okay, wait. Can you ask your question in voice, please? Like,
can drone be driven in indoors?
Indoors, like that depends on the drone. This hook can be flown indoors. This are meant to be flown indoors, but this can be flown indoors. Like only this, and the 2.5 inch can be flown in a bigger space. That's it.
Okay, actually, I've seen in weddings, most of the weddings, they are driving drones inside the wedding hall.
Exactly, but you would have seen Phantom. I think Phantom drones can be flown indoors, but it's not advisable. They can fly, but not advisable.
Okay.
And someone asked how much does it cost to make a basic handmade drone? That depends on the drone, man. This one costed me like around 6,000 to make. people usually think for making a 5-inch drone, like this costs like around, if you want to make a basic setup with this costs like around 20K. And when the drone goes smaller, like to make this, people will say like the components are small, why costing like, but when the components get smaller, the price will be increased. Actually, this costs like around 19,000 to make everything, battery, everything. Apart, excluding the batteries charger, it costed 19,000. So for your answer, Manavan SR, you can build a basic, what purpose you're asking? Manavan, can you speak up, man?
Mega Vanman.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, bad with names. Okay. What kind of drone you want to make?
Just for hobby.
Okay, just for hobby, you can make you can get a 1S hoop. They are available to like around 6K. Ready to fly are available at 6,000, and a quad you can make at 6,000. Apart from that, if you want FPV, you need goggles, transmitter, and chargers, batteries. Anyway, if you want to spend, it costs like around 50 to 20 to get a basic setup.
Sir, is it easy to drive the drone?
Actually, drone we don't drive, we fly. That depends on person and comes with experience. Sorry. Guys, anyone else? What are drones most used for, sir? Okay, guys, you can call me like Vishal, or you don't need to call me sir. I'm also a student only. It makes me feel a bit aged or awkward. Okay, sorry. What are drones used for? Drones are used for like okay, mostly drones are used for surveying, flying, and I personally use drones as an hobby, only hobby one. I don't want to get into research or anything. I just want to get away from work or studies and just fly for like a couple of hours. That's it. And it can be used for photography.
Vishal.
Yes.
What kind of a camera we can use?
Wait, just a second. You can use drones for flying. Guys, just a second. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got a call. Sorry. Okay. You can use for photography, filmography, or use for projects, and mostly drones are now used for rescue operations. Like Uttarakhand flight FPV drones. A friend of mine from Trichy went to Uttarakhand and used this drone to find rescue. And with the help of sensors, you can find if any people or any human have got stuck under anything. You can use that. And mostly drones, it comes to mind that of filmography, photography. That's it. While studying in college, how much? Okay, while studying in college, totally how much you spend drone making and for experiments? The first drone costed like around 15,000. After that, by selling these components and getting new one and getting money, nearly 4 lakhs. I would have spent like around 3 to 4 lakhs maximum. Like selling and reselling like that, not 4 lakhs total money. Would anywhere be like around 3.5 to 4? I would have spent. Okay, next please. I think Sanjit Shiva asked what camera. I think what question did you ask?
What kind of a camera, like HD cameras? I mean.
Okay, I forgot to mention that part. Thank you. Okay. You can see here, this is a camera from GoPro. You would have heard GoPro. It's an action camera. This camera can be used. It's a session 5. It's like around 5 years old camera. This can do good at 1080p video recording. This camera, and the next camera I'm currently using this Insta360 Go. Like many of you would came across the term 360-degree video or Insta360. The company name is Insta360, and second Instagram. This is the smallest camera as of now. This camera is like around 15 grams to 20 grams that can do 1080p at 30 and 60 FPS, I think. I'm not sure about frames per second. This is the tiniest camera like currently in the market. And there is a second version of Go 2 is currently available in market right now. This is the camera I use. These two are the one I use.
Okay. Actually, I'm having another doubt.
Okay.
You said about 3D mapping, right?
Yes.
So, so these cameras is also helpful for 3D mapping. Like
these won't be useful. Like 3D mapping can be done with only mostly DJI series drones because they are stable in flight.
Okay.
Excuse me, they are stable and they can fly greatly at high wind. And with point mapping, like we used to do point mapping. So from one point to another point, the drone should go. So we used to map that. Only that can be done in DJI drones. And apart from drones, if you want to do that in custom-made quadcopter, you can do audio pilot, Pixhawk, or APM. These three are for waypoints mapping that can be used, that drones can be used.
Okay, before flying the drones, we have to input the nodes, right? Where should be drone is driven?
Yeah, but not exactly every drone needs that. But APM, Pixar, NASA, and those kind of drone needs that. But these 5-inch quadcopter doesn't need anything like because they can fly wherever they are. They are 5-inch,
Okay,
and these doesn't have anything like that.
So these 3D mapping can be useful in making 3D videos, like 3D.
Not 3D videos, 3D photography or picture of the property.
Okay. Thank you.
So looking at all the enthusiastic participants, okay, luckily, fortunately, we will arrange another session. Given the circumstances, I need Mr. Vishal also to take some rest because he's on the job for at least 2 hours on the job. So we should consider his at least for having water or something. I should leave him.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously we'll have another session, and hopefully we'll get connected with the same drones workshop and even in a bigger manner. Okay. So we'll have live experiences, hands-on workshops, or whatever it may be. If possible, we will have a live demos also. Okay. So
I think someone asked just a second. Someone asked a question, I think. Nothing.
Okay. I think all the questions you have answered from the chat box also, and those who have asked you personally, it is been answered.
Okay,
so I think it is time we can call it for the day. And hopefully we will make another arrangements for this drones workshop. And we request all the enthusiastic participants to meet us in a bigger stage. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you, Vishal, for the patience, and thank you all the participants. Those who have shown your curiosity in knowing things. And hopefully tomorrow's session, I think they have posted it in chat box. Tomorrow it will be hands-on training in IoT using Tinkercad software. So again, there is another practical demo session tomorrow. So kindly stay connected for the next 2 days. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vishal.